So XDefiant have come out with a release date, and it's a huge update that has just been announced from Mark Rubin himself. And this article is broken down into 3 parts, and I must say it's one of the most transparent articles that I've ever seen from a developer. And straight off the rip, I think that looks good and shapes a brilliant and bright future for this game. So I'm just going to take you through what they said in this 5-minute read. And it says, "Hello X-Defiant fans. I've got an update for you. Subscribe to bradUK." I'm just joking, but it does say it's a big one. "We want to explain further why we haven't given a specific date yet for our launch, and sometimes full transparency is like drinking from a fire hose. So I hope you're all thirsty. First things first, here is a detailed description of how the submission process goes. Submission is part of the development where we give the game first parties, Sony and Xbox, etc. to check that the game works correctly in their environments. And to get that, we have to self-test with our internal quality assurance and compliance teams to try and find any issues that might have get flagged in the submission process. Once we have fixed or completed all of the tasks that we want/think we need for submission, then we spend about 2-3 weeks prepping and validating a candidate master that we think is the final version of the game for submission. It then goes through 1 week of heavy Q&A and compliance testing by several Ubisoft teams. If it passes, then it goes to the first parties to be certified for release. First parties take a week to get their final report on the submission and give us a pass or not a pass with a list of must fixes for the next submission. Also, to be clear, during this submission process, the QC team at Ubisoft are putting the build through the ringer looking for functionality bugs, and another team at Ubisoft, divided up into PC, Sony and Xbox groups, are looking for compliance bugs. There are 2 different types of bugs. Functionality means, does this gameplay feature work as intended? For example, there is a bug where the damage from your weapon is altered after using a certain ability. This is not something the first parties will be looking for unless of course it prevents them from testing. Those are on us to find. Compliance bugs are the ones that relate to the systems and the overall experience that the first parties expect from games on their platforms, i.e. are trophies being properly tracked? Or is my friends list being properly updated with the game status? After we get a pass from all first parties, we then ready to ship and need probably 1-2 weeks before a launch, depending on the date of the pass. If we don't pass, then we need to spend about a month fixing the issues that come up from the submission and repeat this process. And before we continue, I just wanted to specifically shout out Pixuy for letting me use his gameplay. You'll find all of his links in the description down below, and I'm telling you now, this guy is absolutely cracked, so make sure you check him out. So where are we in this? Well, at the end of July we started this process, and we got our first results back in mid-August, which was not a pass. We realized then we had more work related to compliance than we had anticipated. If it had passed, then we would have been able to ship at the end of August, but it didn't. So we had to spend the last 3 or 4 weeks fixing those issues and getting ready to do another submission. We are currently in the CM prep part of the process and will hopefully be submitting to first parties in a little less than 2 weeks. If that then passes cleanly, then we could be looking at a mid to end September release. There is, however, a likely scenario where we get a conditional pass, meaning we have to do a day 1 patch with some final fixes to ensure compliance. If we do need a day 1 patch, and if we do need to do this, this pushes our release date out to early/mid October. They then go on to say that since the concept of this game is to be more transparent with our community and listen to our players and act on their feedback, we've even shown that we will add features in the middle of development based on player requests. Maps voting is now in, and an S&D-like mode that is coming later are 2 examples of this. We want this to be your game. Mark then closes off to say, I know this is a lot of info, so thank you for taking the time to read it all, or in my case, listen to me. I know it's been quite a journey to get to this point, and I want to thank every single person that has joined us along the way. We really can't wait to go live and share our passion and love for X-Defiant with everyone. hope to see you all soon in game. So I think this sounds really, really promising, and I cannot wait for an official release date so we can start popping some videos off on the channel. And if you are hyped for the release as much as I am, then please consider subscribing, as I am a Ubisoft partner and I will be covering this game. Thanks for listening. Take it easy. Peace.